Alright guys, so welcome back to my channel. Today's video is finally going to be my lipstick collection. I'm super excited to share this with you guys. This might have actually brought some new viewers to my channel because I don't typically talk about lipsticks. So if you're new, welcome. I would love if you would consider subscribing. So I have been collecting lipsticks for the last few months. Not because I want a large collection, I was just kind of on the mission to find the most flattering red lipsticks for my skin tone. I did a lot of research looking at people's videos and I did a lot of trial and error. These are the top 10 that I found. One of them is a little bit different. It's not really what I would classify as my favorite or most universally flattering red. It's just another color I happen to have from Lisa Eldridge. The other 9 are very, very universally flattering, I think. Great for light to fair skin tones. I think great for people of all skin tones actually, and very good for a neutral to cool undertone. I personally do not look good in orangey reds or brick reds or warm reds or corals or anything like that. They have to be a true neutral leaning cool with like a blue or a pink undertone. So if you're looking for those kind of lipsticks, I think today's video might be helpful. I know that seeing people swatch different shades and compare them against one another is very helpful for me when I'm looking for lipsticks. So if you've been on the hunt, maybe this video will help you. And if you've tried one of these lipsticks before yourself, you'll be able to compare and contrast what other ones might also work for you based on how that one looked on you. So hopefully today's video is fun for you. I love seeing people's lipstick collections. Some of these are very vintage. Actually, what got me into red lipstick was being inspired by vintage fashion, and women back in the 40s and 50s always wore a red lip. And I actually have 2 of the most popular lipsticks from the 1950s in today's video, which I think is amazing. So without too much further ado, let's get into today's video. I'm going to share with you the ones I have. I'm going to swatch them for you, and I'm going to show them to you in different lighting, natural, warm, cool, and right in front of a window, so you can really get a feel for how they look. So without further ado, let's get started. So today I decided to finally do my lipstick video for you guys. I've been promising this for quite a while and I just didn't have the time to do it, but today I finally have the time. And today I'm going to take you through my entire lipstick collection. This is really exciting for me because I don't really have collections of anything anymore. When it comes to perfumes, believe it or not, you guys, I am down to 4. I currently only have 4 perfumes in my collection, but it feels great. And yeah, I don't really collect things. Like I keep things around that I'm using, but I don't collect for the sake of collecting. When it comes to lipstick, this was kind of a fun little hobby I got into a few months ago, was trying new lipsticks out. I think what really inspired it for me was I was getting into more vintage things, and I really loved the idea and the feeling of like old Hollywood glamour. And with that, of course, came a red lip. A red lip is something that women used to wear all the time. You guys probably remember your mothers or grandmothers always wearing a red lip. I know my grandma always had a red lip. And in the 40s and 50s, a red lip was like an iconic signature feminine thing. And I think that red lipstick is one of the very most quintessentially feminine things that are. There are things in this world that are just very, very feminine. And so along with ruffles and ribbons and skirts and flowy dresses and high heels and things like that also comes a red lip. I just think it's very beautiful. So I was trying a lot of red lipsticks. I was doing a lot of research on what women would wear in the 40s and 50s, research about like what Marilyn Monroe's lipstick color was and things like that. I really got into it. I found it very interesting. And lo and behold, there was actually a couple at my local drugstore that are actually iconic and date back almost 75 years, back to the 50s. And some of those lipstick colors are still available today from the same companies. I thought that was really interesting. So yeah, I love discovering and using things that are vintage that women 75 years ago would have worn. I love the idea that I'm using something that my grandmother might have worn. Finding lipsticks that looked good on me was a lot of trial and error. First of all, you have to know your undertone and you have to know what looks good on you. So for me, I am neutral with cool, like leaning cool undertone. I used to think for many years that I was a warm undertone, and I had such a hard time finding foundations and concealers and stuff like that because of that very problem. For some reason, I just thought I had a yellow undertone to my skin. I thought that that's what I saw. But anyways, I discovered through the trials and errors and also from finally doing online color analyses that I am neutral leaning cool. However, when it comes to lipstick, apparently the cooler toned lipsticks look good universally on no matter whether you have a warm or cool undertone. I'm not sure about olive, but I know for sure that the cooler leaning lipsticks tend to be flattering on people of warm and cool undertones. So I think that what you'll see in today's video will be helpful no matter what your skin undertone is. So I really had to do a lot of trial and error. I got a lot of drugstore lipsticks. I got some higher end lipsticks, and it was really through swatching them and just seeing what worked on me, what looked good on me, what flattered me, which shades of red would be the most flattering on me. So I don't actually have nude lipsticks. I have tried so many nude lipsticks, and for some reason they just seem to wash me out. They don't look the best. But for some reason, you guys, I can really rock a red lip. It just brings me to life. I don't know, I think also because I am pretty fair. I'm light to fair complexion, and I need a little bit of contrast. I've got like medium to dark brown eyes. I've got medium to dark brown hair. So my intensity level, which you need to know as well when you're choosing colors and things like that, my intensity level is like medium to high intensity. Anyways, I'm gonna try not to make this too rambly, but I don't wear lipstick very often. In fact, I almost never do, but there is the odd occasion that I feel like just making myself feel a little bit more feminine, a little bit more, I don't know, glamorous kind of, maybe just putting in a little bit more effort sort of. I feel like these days you rarely see women in a red lip. Like very, very rarely. And I also was never confident enough to pull off lipstick colors or to wear lipstick because I think I'm just not used to seeing myself in lipstick. And so when I would see myself in it, it was so obvious and so bright and so loud sort of, and it was the first thing I noticed, and it made me feel very self-conscious. So I never would want to wear lipstick out of the house. I had to really have a pep talk with myself and tell myself that no, like it's going to look really nice. Every time I ever see other women wearing a red lip, like for example, if I go to my local cosmetics store or something like that and I see somebody wearing a red lip, you know, when you go to Sephora, they usually have a full face on. And every time I see a woman with a bold lip, I think, wow, that looks so great. Like you look amazing. I just really appreciate it. I think it looks wonderful. And so I thought, why do I see that on other women, but when I see myself in one, I'm too self-conscious to wear it? And I thought, this doesn't even make sense. Like you just have to have the confidence. You have to remind yourself that life is really too short. And what exactly are you waiting for? Like, why do we wait for special occasions that never come to feel our best, to put our best foot forward, to do our hair the way we like it, to wear the dresses that we like and the shoes that we like and the perfumes that we like? We should be feeling our best as often as possible. I'm trying to apply this in all areas of my life, not just with makeup and things like that, but I'm trying to apply it with my wardrobe as well. There will be more on that coming in the future, you guys. I'm really undergoing this whole shift in my mentality and the way that I want to live, and it's going to bleed over into my wardrobe as well. And just to give you a little hint, I already don't have a lot of jeans. I have one pair of jeans in my wardrobe, but I honestly think I'm just going to start wearing dresses and skirts a lot more often, even at home, even on my days off, even if I'm not going out of the house, because I feel so good about myself when I wear dresses. Anyways, more on that in the future, but that's kind of how I view a red lip. A red lip is feminine, it's beautiful, it's universally flattering. Everybody, it is said, can rock a red lip. It's just about getting the right color for you. So the reds that I have in today's video tend to be a little bit more on the neutral to cool undertone side. I have a lot of pinky reds and I have a few reddy pinks. I have drugstore to very high end. So I think there's something in here for everybody. And I honestly, like when you swatch them, a lot of them look very, very similar, but I really do feel like I found some of the very best universally flattering pinky reds that are out there on the market. And all of these just make me feel really glamorous, really beautiful. So something in here for everybody. And with that all out of the way, let's get started. All right, so I just dug them out here from my little boucle case. If you guys are wondering, this little boucle bag came from Etsy, and it says Made by Sue. So if you're looking for something similar, it is the brand on Etsy, Made by Sue. It was a little bit expensive, but these little boucle teddy bags are really good quality, and it's really well made. I think this one was like $40, so it is kind of a little bit more expensive than like your typical thing, but okay, so these are all the lipsticks. I do have one sharpener, pencil sharpener for the lip liners. I'm going to put that in the bag. I have 4 lip liners. 2 of them go specifically with 2 of the lipsticks that I have, and the other 2 are just red lip liners. One of them is a more cool toned red, and one is a more mid-tone kind of a red, so that I have kind of something for everything. And I haven't counted them, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have exactly 10 lipsticks, which I think is fairly well-rounded. And you guys, I literally tried probably like 40 or 50, I'm not even kidding, between drugstore and high-end. These were my top ones that really stuck out to me as being some of the best in terms of undertone and the way that they apply and the pigment and everything else. So like I said, I've got ones on here that you can probably find at the drugstore for like $5 or $10, and some of them that are upwards of $70 or $80. So a little bit of something for everybody. Where do I start? Oh, and I also have one in here that isn't my favorite, just for reference, which is a very popular one. This is MAC's Ruby Woo. So I got this one to try because I heard that this one was universally flattering. However, it's not my favorite red. It's almost a little too deep for me, like almost a little too dark. But because this is so popular, and because most of you, I feel like, either have Ruby Woo or know what Ruby Woo looks like, or you can go to your local Sephora and you can swatch it, I kept this one for you guys because I knew I was going to make this video, and I wanted to be able to compare and contrast the ones I have so that you could see the ones I have as compared to this very popular Ruby Woo. That way you can tell like the intensity of the ones I have, how much they compare to Ruby Woo. I just thought that this would be a good point of reference, if that makes sense, because I feel like everybody knows this one. Okay, so let's start out with MAC's Ruby Woo. So this is, I think, one of the most popular lipstick colors from MAC. I think they also have one called Russian Red, and they also have just MAC Red, I think it's called. Anyway, this is one of the most popular ones, and this is one of the newer, like the reformulated one, or maybe not reformulated, but it's the new Maximal Matte. So this is what it looks like. The bullets are a little bit bigger in this new like Maximal Matte than they were before, and the MAC lipsticks all have this beautiful smell. They all smell actually like a lipsticky perfume. You know, when you have those vanilla lipsticky perfumes, that's what it smells like. So this is supposed to be a universally flattering red, and it definitely has a bit of a blue undertone. Yeah, like I said, for me personally, this is not my favorite color. It is good. I can pull it off. It's more for like a night out, like especially in the fall winter, I could see, and definitely going out for a late evening out. This is not something I would wear every single day, although I think you definitely could. For me, I honestly found it quite surprising that they said that this was the most universally flattering red out there, because it is a little on the dark side. But yeah, I do really like it, and I see why people say that that it's universally flattering. It is nice, and I will wear it. I'm not really going to comment too much on the longevity and the wearability of some of these lipsticks, just what I know about them. This one does have really good lasting power and really good pigment. None of the lipsticks I have in today's video have poor pigment or poor lasting power or anything like that. They're all pretty good. So now that I'm looking at it, you guys, it is such a beautiful color. It is such a beautiful red. Definitely one of the deeper, darker ones that I have. Definitely quite matte. But you can see just how gorgeous this is, you guys. And it has definitely that blue undertone to it as well, which is so flattering. Such a flattering color. I'm trying to make sure I have room for 10 lipsticks here, which I think I do. But that is MAC Ruby Woo. Really beautiful. I hope that this level of depth is going to come through, but you can see that it doesn't have a lot of orange undertones or red undertones. None of the lipsticks I'm showing you have a lot of warmth to them. They're all going to be fairly neutral, leaning cool. So that is MAC Ruby Woo. And just for reference, the foundation that I use is like the lightest in the CoverGirl's Beads one, the Essence Beads one that just came out. And I pretty much use the lightest shade of foundation in every range, just so that you guys are aware. For Estee Lauder, I wear alabaster and porcelain mixed together, so you can kind of get an idea of my undertone and my skin depth, my skin shade. All right, the next one, you guys, is pretty affordable. This one is from Revlon. You can get this at your local drugstore. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it from Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, any place that sells drugstore lipsticks. And this is Revlon's number 725 Love That Red. This is a cream formula, and this is one of the oldest red lipsticks that is still around to date. I'm sure that they've obviously reformulated it, and I don't know if the pigment is exactly the same as it used to be, but this color was around in the 50s, and this was a very popular lipstick shade. This one, Love That Red, Love That Pink, which I also have, and Cherries in the Snow, I believe, were the three most popular drugstore lipsticks of the 50s. So leave a comment down below if you or someone you knew wore Revlon Love That Red. I wish I knew what my grandmothers wore. I would love to be a fly on the wall and go back and see what they wore. I remember looking through my grandmother's vanity when I was a little girl, and I remember finding lipsticks in the old metal tubing, and they were all pretty shades of red and pink, but I don't know what brands they were, and I don't know what colors they were, but I have very distinct memories of rooting through my grandmother's vanity and looking at her lipsticks, and I just really wish that I knew what colors they were, or better yet, I wish I would have been able to keep one. Anyways, this is one of the oldest ones, and I love this because it's so iconic and so vintage feeling, and I love that it is kind of that quintessential red that women have worn for so long. So that's what this one looks like here. So this is a very true red. This one does have a little bit of a pinky blue undertone, and it's quite bright as well. This one is definitely brighter than MAC's Ruby Woo, and this one is very vintage feeling, very antique feeling, and very glamorous feeling. And this one definitely has more of a luster and more of a shine than the MAC Ruby Woo, and you'll see when I swatch it that it is also quite a bit lighter as well. All right, so that is Love That Red. So MAC's Ruby Woo didn't look that dark, but when you compare it to this one here, you can see how deep Ruby Woo is compared to this one. So this one is definitely a good shade lighter, and it's also just a little bit less bluey, but it still does have bluey pink kind of neutral undertones. It is not leaning warm or orange. I don't find that I look good in any kind of warm orange, like brick red, anything like that. You won't see anything like that in today's video. Those just do not flatter me. These ones definitely lean a little bit more cool, and Love That Red is quite vibrant. It's a very vibrant red. It's one of the most, I would say, like true reds I have in my collection. And these are all probably going to look very similar, but I don't know. There's something special about each of them, and yeah, this one definitely has more of a luster. It's not as long wearing as the Ruby Woo. Definitely easier to wash off as well, and less transfer proof than Ruby Woo. I think if I was going for a date night, I'd probably choose between these two. I'd probably choose Ruby Woo if I wanted something a little bit more bold and intense and long wearing compared to the Love That Red. But the Love That Red is more like a everyday, you could just throw it on, and if you wanted a vibrant lip. And by the way, Taylor Swift is one of the celebrities, one of the few women that I've seen who does wear a red lip all the time, and she was actually a big inspiration for me, because I thought, you know what, if Taylor Swift, I know she's like a huge celebrity, but if she can wear a red lip all the time, so can I. So I think you should just own your femininity, and I think you should just be bold and do what makes you feel good about yourself and wear a red lip. So that is Revlon Love That Red. So this next one is also another affordable one. This is from Revlon, and this is Love That Pink. This one's more of a pink, but it is a reddy pink, or a pinky red. And it looks quite light. It looks almost like a fuchsia sort of thing, but once you put it on the skin, you'll see it definitely does pull a little bit more pink. But you guys, this is literally the most flattering shade I have ever seen. Actually, my daughter, who's 14, some of her friends came over one day, and I got them to try on some of these lipsticks. I just wanted to see, like, I was like, can I put this on you? I just want to see like what it looks like. And they love makeup, and they love experimenting with makeup. So I kid you not, you guys, This shade looks good on everybody. She has friends who are all different ethnicities. This looks good on everyone's skin tone. It's so beautiful, it's so flattering, and because it's more of a pink, it's more fresh, like it's more summer appropriate. This is one you could just throw on any day, I think, especially in the summer, that you wanted a fresh pinky red lip. Nothing too crazy. It's got just enough vibrancy that you could wear it for daytime, but you could also put it on for a date night. And you'll see how it's more pink, but it's a reddy pink or a pinky red, however you want to look at it. Whoops, I'm not getting very even swatches here. Can you guys tell I'm not an expert? All right, so that is Love That Pink. And it's not a heck of a lot different from Love That Red, but it does have just slightly more fuchsia tones to it. And again, you can see that it is also lighter than Ruby Woo. And it is so flattering. I would say that Love That Red definitely goes more in a true red direction. It's got more of the orange undertone, or like more of a warm undertone, compared to Love That Pink. Love That Pink has more blue undertone, but it's a little bit lighter. So again, this is going to be your most true kind of, I think, universal red is Love That Red. So MAC Ruby Woo, Revlon Love That Red, and Revlon Love That Pink. And again, this one is so flattering on so many skin tones. And I really recommend it. It's also very affordable, and it is vintage as well, which I love. I love that it has a vintage feel to it. Now for something just a little bit pinker, and this is about as pink and as bright as I get, but I do have another two other really nice pink colors, like reddy pinks that are gorgeous as well. This one isn't as old or iconic as the previous ones, but this is also from Revlon. This is my last Revlon one, and this is just the color, this is Electric Melon. So this is more of a vibrant fuchsia pink. And believe it or not, you guys, I can actually pull off a vibrant fuchsia pink. This one is definitely more like summertime vibes, a little bit more bright, sunshiny, and like I said, it is, I think, the brightest one that I have in my collection. It looks like it would be just way too intense, and the inclination would be that you could pull off more of a nude lipstick, but surprisingly, like I said, I look better in these vibrant colors, so much better than some sort of a muted, like, mauve tone. I think the muted mauve tones just wash me out, whereas these ones actually bring my skin to life, and they bring my face to life, and they make me feel more, they just make me look alive. Like, they literally, I just think everybody can wear a red and a pink lip. I think it just looks good on everybody. So let me go ahead and swatch Electric Melon for you. And you're really going to be able to see the contrast here. Definitely, again, more in the fuchsia direction. Definitely lighter and brighter. And definitely a bluey undertone. All right, so that is Electric Melon. I don't know how this is translating on camera. In person, I can see a difference, and I hope that you guys can see a difference as well. So we have MAC Ruby Woo, Revlon Love That Red, Revlon Love That Pink, and Revlon Electric Melon. So you can see that although it looks like it's going to be super bright, it's actually not that crazy bright. I mean, it is, but it's just a really pretty, like, again, it's a reddy pink. It's not too pink, and it's not too bright, and it's not too blue or too bubblegum. I don't look good in, like, bubblegum pinks. I look better in these kind of more reddy toned pinks. So yeah, that is Electric Melon. It looks like it's going to be so much brighter in the tube. Like, it looks like it's going to be so much brighter, but it's actually such a wearable. I was so surprised at how wearable this is for being like a fuchsia color. I'll show you guys these in different lighting as well, just so that you know. At the end, I'll show you what they look like in different lighting. So that's Revlon Electric Melon. Okay, the next one is another, it's a higher end one, but you can get it from the drugstore, and it's cheaper compared to some of the more really high-end lipsticks. So this one is from Elizabeth Arden, and this one is called Red Door Red. It is shade 1610. This one was recommended to me by my local Shoppers Drug Mart sales associate, and when she first showed it to me, and she swatched it. I thought it was going to be way too pink. I thought, no way, that's too pink. I'm looking for something more of a true red. She told me that this was Elizabeth Arden's most iconic red, and actually I ended up buying this one and another one, and she was right. This one was the best out of the two. So when you swatch it on the back of your hand at the store, it's going to come across a little bit more pink, and you might think, oh, I don't really know if that's what I want. Like, I'm looking for a true red. But this one is actually so beautiful, and again, so universally flattering, I think, because it does have that more bluey undertone. So it looks like it's going to be a very true red in the tube. Once you swatch it, you're going to see that that little bit more of a pinky undertone does come through, and it's actually quite comparable to Revlon Love That Pink. So I'll swatch it for you. This one's also a cream, like a creamy, sheeny kind of a formula. It's not a matte. So this is Elizabeth Arden Red Door Red. This is such a beautiful color, such a stunning color. Nice applicator too, like nicely shaped bullet there. So that is Red Door Red. Now this is more red, obviously, than Electric Melon, which again is kind of more of a fuchsia. And then you've got Love That Pink, which is a reddy pink. And then you've got Love That Red and Ruby Woo. I would say Red Door Red is actually pretty similar to Ruby Woo and Love That Red. It's somewhere in there. This one I think is just very universally flattering. I literally think this will look good on everybody's skin tone. It has just enough of that blue undertone. But as you can see, it is a red. It is a true red lipstick, but leaning in that more pinky blue direction, which I think makes it universally flattering. So stunning. I can't tell you how beautiful it looks on the lips, you guys. Like, I can't tell you how beautiful it is. Especially against a fair complexion. And on the lipstick as well, you do have the pretty detail. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's got the pretty little Elizabeth Arden symbol imprinted on the bullet. The only downside of this lipstick is, and it does have a magnetic closure, so it's feels fancy. The only downside is that this is a square shape. So if you have a round lipstick holder, which I had one at one point to organize them, this one didn't fit in the lipstick organizer because the organizer holes were round and this one was square. This was the only one that didn't fit, which was quite annoying. But anyway, nonetheless, a beautiful color. So this is the one I would recommend from Elizabeth Arden. Again, it is 610 Red Door Red. All right, this next one is a little bit more high-end. This one I got from Sephora. It is from Valentino, and this one is number, I don't know if it has a number. I don't think it has a number, but it is just called Rosso Valentino, and this is a satin. So I did try about 3 from Valentino. This was my favorite. Again, this one does lean in the bluey, pinky undertone direction. It is absolutely stunning. The formula is beautiful. And you can see that when you roll it up, it looks like it's going to be just a very true red, but it does have more of that bluey undertone. It's got the nice Valentino V embossed in the side of the lipstick, and it doesn't have a scent. This one is completely unscented. I think the only ones that smell that have a scent is the actually the MAC. I think all the other ones are unscented. So I'll swatch this one for you. So again, this one is Rosso Valentino. All right, so at this point, you're probably wondering, why do you even have more than one lipstick? Because they pretty much all look the same, with the exception of Electric Melon, which is brighter, and Ruby Woo, which is matte and darker. That's the darkest one. So that's Rosso Valentino. So again, very pretty, has a satin, more of a lustrous kind of finish. And now I'm going to forget where we're at with everything. What was the last one I did? Oh yes, that was Elizabeth Arden. So the Rosso Valentino is actually pretty similar to the Elizabeth Arden. I would say that's the one that's the closest. In fact, the Elizabeth Arden is almost a dupe. The Rosso Valentino is almost a little bit more sheer. It has slightly more sheer pigment compared to the Elizabeth Arden, and maybe just a touch more of the blue undertone. So looking pretty similar. They're looking pretty similar. So let's see if I can remember these here. So we've got MAC Ruby Woo, Revlon Love That Red, Revlon Love That Pink, Revlon Electric Melon, Elizabeth Arden, Red Door Red, and Valentino Rosso Valentino. So in my opinion, if you're looking for a great, I put it the wrong way. If you're looking for a great higher end red from Valentino, this would be the one I would recommend. I would recommend Valentino Rosso Valentino. I think this is going to be the most universally flattering, and I think it's going to be the best for a light to fair complexion with a cool to neutral undertone, and even a warm undertone, because as I said before, cool undertone lipsticks apparently look good on people even with warm undertones. So that is our Valentino. We are officially over halfway through. The next one that I have is my only non-bullet lipstick, and this is also my other matte formula, and this is from Nars, and this one is called Dragon Girl. This one is also more of a true kind of a fiery red, and I think, don't quote me, but I think this is one that Taylor Swift has worn on occasion, which kind of piqued my interest because I thought if it's wearable for her to wear like all the time, then maybe it's wearable for me to wear all the time. But I actually think I would wear this for a night out. This one has really good longevity, really good staying power. It's more transfer proof. This is one I would trust through everything, like meals, drinks, kiss-worthy, you know. This is one that is going to last. You're not going to have to reapply it a whole bunch, and it has really good pigment, but your lips would have to be very hydrated before putting this on because it is more of a matte formula. I don't want to break it, so I'm just going to roll it down a little bit. So that is Nars Dragon Girl. Again, you guys, these are looking all pretty much the same. But you can see, this is why I've narrowed it down so much. So you can see that I truly have narrowed down like the nicest, like neutral to like blue undertoned reds. If one of these works for you, the rest of them will work for you. You can bet on that. Except Ruby Woo is darker than all of them. So this one is more comparable to Ruby Woo. It is a little bit deeper. You can see that it does have a bit more of a bluey pink undertone, but it is a true red. It's comparable to Elizabeth Arden Red Door Red. Yeah, I would say it's closest to Red Door Red and Ruby Woo. So it is a true red, really nice deep color, really nice pigment, probably the most transfer proof and the most long wearing, I would say, out of any of these. Yeah, so that is Dragon Girl. Just a beautiful, beautiful color. And again, I kind of like that it doesn't have too much of a sheen or a luster to it. I think it looks very clean. Does that make sense? Like, it just looks very clean and you don't have to worry about it rubbing off on your teeth. And I would definitely trust this one for a night out, going out for a glass of wine or some dinner with my honey. Very romantic, very bold, very pretty, very sophisticated and glamorous. So Nars Dragon Girl. The next one is a very popular red, and this is one of the most universally flattering reds ever. When I was doing my research on people's favorite lipsticks and the most universally flattering red lipsticks, this one came up over and over and over. And this, you guys can probably guess, it's from Lisa Eldridge, who I have fallen in love with her lipsticks, and I want to get more of them, but they're very expensive, and I also just like don't need any more lipstick. The packaging is really beautiful. This is probably some of my favorite packaging. Comes in this really pretty kind of antique-y looking gold tube, magnetic closure as well. And this is Velvet Ribbon. You guys probably guessed it. So this one again is a little bit darker. It is one of the deeper reds that I have, but it is very beautiful. And you can see, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but there is actually a little bit of embossing on the side of the lipstick tube that makes it look velvety. So they've put these teeny tiny little squares all over the side of the lipstick. It's hard to see unless you look really close in person, but it looks like velvet. And these are honestly, and I'm not an expert, but these are some of the most high quality, most beautiful lipsticks I've ever come across. They are a dream to apply. They're super smooth. I think these ones are matte. Yeah, and like I said, I'm not an expert, but out of all of the different brands, I have to say the Lisa Eldridge formula is among top notch. As far as pigment goes, how pretty it applies, how well they last, just beautiful quality. You cannot go wrong. So let me go ahead and swatch Velvet Ribbon. I also have the what do you call it, lip liner, the matching lip liner for this one. All right, why am I going crooked? So that is Velvet Ribbon. So you can see, Again, I think this is helpful because if you've ever tried Ruby Woo, if you've ever tried something popular like, sorry for my dog, he's making noise. If you've ever tried the Lisa Eldridge Velvet Ribbon, then you can pretty much guarantee that the rest of these will probably work for you as well. I think that's where it's helpful. If you've tried one, you'll know that the others are comparable. Or if you want to know what Velvet Ribbon looks like, you can go to Sephora and you can swatch Dragon Girl, or you can go to Shoppers Drug Mart and you can swatch Red Door Red or something like that, and you can kind of get an idea. Love That Red, Love That Pink. So you can kind of compare, and you know that if one looks good on you, the rest will probably look good. So that is Velvet Ribbon, and like I said, you guys, it is one of the deeper, darker tones. You can also see that although Ruby Woo is a blue undertone, Velvet Ribbon has even more of a blue undertone touch than Ruby Woo. Ruby Woo is even more of a true red than Velvet Ribbon. And you can see here, comparing Velvet Ribbon to Dragon Girl, that Dragon Girl is a touch more brick red compared to Velvet Ribbon, just ever so slightly. Might not be super noticeable. And then here you've got your kind of like Electric Melon fuchsia pink, just to compare. So it kind of gives you a spectrum where Velvet Ribbon would fall compared to the rest. Just a beautiful formula. You guys can really see how much pigment there was there when I applied that one. Very beautiful, very universally flattering, but a little bit on the darker side. Definitely a little bit on the deeper, darker side compared to some of them. This one here is Revlon Love That Pink, a reddy pink or a pinky red, and with more of a luster shine. So you can really see the difference in depth between those two. The next one is also from Lisa Eldridge. This is my only other Lisa Eldridge lipstick, and she has such amazing colors. I don't know if you guys have ever checked out her website, but she has such beautiful, unique reds and pinks. But this is one of the most beautiful, kind of more dark, kind of pink colors that I have found. And this one is still a reddy pink or a pinky red. And this is Velvet Pompadour. This is going to be the most different out of all the ones I have. This one is the one that leans more in the kind of magenta fuchsia ish direction, but not very bright. It is darker and it's very pretty. So this is Velvet Pompadour. This definitely has more of a purple undertone to it, and I don't know again if you guys can see, it's got the velvet on the side. So let me go ahead and swatch Velvet Pompadour. So this one here, a little bit more muted, not as bright. I will be honest, the other ones are more flattering on me than Velvet Pompadour. This is a beautiful color, but this one definitely is a little bit more muted, not as bright, has more of a purple touch to it, and is just a little bit more like, what's the word? The contrast is lowered on it, I guess, or like the saturation is lowered. It's not as vibrant as the other colors. Still very pretty, but definitely leaning more in a purpley, kind of muted, mauvey direction. It does look stunning on. It does look really beautiful on. It's a very pretty color. I have to say I still prefer the other reds better. Like I still prefer a more bright, vibrant red than this color, but it is very beautiful. She has a color that I really want to try called Rainbow Spill. Anyway, she's got like really beautiful, vibrant pink fuchsia colors that I want to try, similar to the Electric Melon. But this one is very pretty. It's just a little bit more muted. So if that's your jam, this one's really pretty. I do prefer Velvet Ribbon, and I think I prefer all of the other reds as compared to Velvet Pompadour. This one just happens to be in my collection. I honestly don't think it's one I'm going to wear a lot. It is pretty, but I don't think it's going to be one that I would reach for a lot over the others. Okay, and this is the last lipstick in my collection. This is from Sephora, and this is such a beautiful color, you guys. So beautiful. If you're looking for a vibrant kind of a fuchsia pink, if you liked Electric Melon, if you kind of like Velvet Pompadour, but you wanted something more vibrant and less muted, I was surprised at how gorgeous this looks on. Like, it's actually so wearable. And this is number 12. I don't know if it has the like a name of a color. It's just the Sephora collection number 12 matte lipstick. And this is what it looks like a very vibrant, beautiful, beautiful pink. This reminds me of some of Lisa Eldridge's vibrant pinks. It's so incredibly flattering. You would be surprised. This would be a great one to wear for spring and summer for a vibrant pink. Let me put it on. It's honestly one of the nicest formulas as well that I've ever tried, and one of the prettiest colors I've ever tried as well. And this would be either the brightest or the second brightest that I'm going to share with you today. All right. Sephora number 12. Oh my gosh, you guys, is that ever beautiful? Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? That is so pretty. Okay, so that is Sephora number 12. And this actually looks comparable to the one I wanted to try from Lisa Eldridge on her website called Rainbow Spill, I think, which is like a vibrant but very saturated pigmented pink. So it's definitely a pink, but it's a reddy pink. All right, so I don't really know how to describe this color. How do you even describe that? So that's Electric Melon from Revlon, which is more of a true fuchsia. And then you've got Love That Red, which is a very mid-tone red. This is probably the most orange red out of all of them. This one, I don't know, it's like, well, it's matte for one thing, and it's a little bit more muted, but you can see how it's more vibrant and more bright than the Velvet Pompadour. So that's Velvet Ribbon, Sephora number 12. Just absolutely, I don't know if the camera is doing it justice, you guys. It is such a beautiful color. It's so wearable. I honestly, like, if you look at the tube, I thought this was going to be way too bright. But when you put it on, it is absolutely stunning. It is so pretty. When I ordered it, I thought I was getting like a bright pink. I honestly thought I was getting like a bright fuchsia pink, and it ended up being this perfect, really interesting shade of reddy pink. Just stunning. Like, truthfully, one of my favorite colors in my entire lipstick collection.
People dancing in slow motion, blurry eyes. But I've had enough, it's time to say goodbye. 3 a.m. as I'm walking home with a smile. Smoky moon, like a shiver, all the shadows fade away. All your streets are empty, lights begin to sway. 4 a.m. as I think, oh, Stockholm love. Sometimes I picture how life had been in Paris or New York or Shanghai. But you know what they say, east or west, our home is best. Warming rays, golden sunlight as the
So that's about it, you guys. Those are the 10 lipsticks that I have. Honestly, if I had to choose my favorites, I would have to say it's very hard to pick. It's very hard to pick. But I would say I love the Sephora number 12 because it's such a pretty, like, surprisingly wearable pink. I also love the Arden Red Door Red. What else? I really love the the Rosso Valentino. I also really love That Pink from Revlon. And I really like Dragon Girl, actually. Yeah, I like Dragon Girl and Velvet Pompadour. Honestly, if I had to pick, those would probably be my top favorite. But they're all good. I mean, they're all so similar with the exception of the Velvet Pompadour. This is the Velvet Pompadour is the only one that is kind of more of a mauvey, purpley kind of thing. But anyways, that is all of them. I hope that this video was helpful to show you guys all my colors. So that was today's video. I hope that you guys really enjoyed seeing my lipstick collection. If you have a favorite lipstick, please let me know down below. I'm sure that other people would really like to hear what your favorite red lipstick is. And thanks for being here with me today, and I'll see you all very soon in my next one. Bye for now.